Hi, I'm Bob Ross, and I'd like to welcome you today to Boone's Slot Car Garage. And today, we're going to be building some whispering trees. So I extend an invitation to you to grab all your modeling supplies and build with us today a wonderful landscape of beautiful whispering trees. So, no further ado, let's do this. So, it's Bob again. And if we go down to Boone's layout, we can see these wonderful trees. I mean, I couldn't paint trees like this, so we're gonna have to build them today. So, when it's all said and done, we're gonna add some more trees. So, let's go get our modeling supplies and let's go build some trees. All right, so before we even get started, I need to get props where props are due. And I came up with this idea after watching a video through a guy named Luke, who has a wonderful website called Bear Creek Railroad. Thing is, Luke's building everything in HO level, so really small compared to what we need to do with 132nd or 124th. So I took his design, we twisted it around, and I'm gonna show you what I came up with. So we're gonna get over to the table, I'm gonna show you the supplies, and I just wanted to make that clear. Thanks. All right, so I have all our supplies out on the table here, and what we're going to use is the coconut mat, and they get this and they use it for hanging baskets, and it's the liner that goes in the inside. So you need some of that. Again, trusty aluminum foil. We're going to use some coarse turf, and this is light green and also dark green. Hairspray, spray glue. I use a green rattle can paint, and this is espresso brown. The sponge flock that we came up with. Now you can also go out and buy the packaged stuff as well. And I explained in a prior video how we made the foam flock. So you can go out and get like the Woodland Scenics bushes, and that would work. The other thing that we're gonna need is the trunk, and this is one of the things that I'm using, and I'm using driftwood, or you could use any type of wood that maybe you find out in the woods. And the cool thing about this is a lot of people are using dowel, and dowel is great, it's straight and everything else, but it doesn't compare to the natural look of something that's real. So I have a bunch of different styles here just to kind of show you of a different type of driftwood, and you can see all the knots and everything else. So we have that. The tools we're going to need, obviously, we're going to need some scissors. You're going to need a handsaw and a knife, and this is just a regular pocket knife. So, first things first, when we come back, we'll start cutting up our coconut and get that going. All right, first things first, we're gonna start out with our coconut liner here. And what I'm gonna do is just go ahead and cut this down. And the cool thing about this stuff, I'm gonna go a little bit further. And we kind of want to go at a little bit of an angle so that we have multiple sizes. So let me just slice this off. Just like that. So, now that we got that, we want to go ahead and slice this into squares. So just go on across. And as you go, you want to go ahead and size it down. You notice how this one is bigger than that guy. This guy's going to be a little bit smaller. and this guy a little bit smaller. Next thing we want to do from there is go around the edges. And you don't want to round it off, but we just kind of want to cut it down so it's like an octagon. And what this will do is soften the look of it when we get it all spread out. So on each one of these, you go ahead and cut those all out. From there, once you've got everything all cut, now you'll notice the fibers here, see how it comes apart. So go ahead and split this all up, put that off to the side, and take these and just kind of tease them out a little bit. Now keep in mind that you want to kind of keep that round shape going on. So as we do this, just kind of get it like that. Now you don't want them too thin, but again, you don't want them too thick. So if you take a look, you can see how you can see through all this, okay? And that's about the exact thickness that you want. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna finish up everything else. When we come back, we'll take it to the next step. All right, so I went ahead and got our driftwood, the pieces that I figured that we're gonna use, and got 2 different pieces. Used the saw to go ahead and cut it the way I wanted it. Now, one thing about using a natural form is that you're gonna make sure that wherever you're gonna put it, you want it to be flush on the bottom to line up the way that you want to have it. So being that these aren't exactly straight, like a doweling, you don't really have to worry about it. Just go ahead and do a straight cut. So you need to go ahead and set it out there and find out exactly the look that you're going to be going after. So you can see how we've cut both of these. This one's at an angle to make sure that's going upright. Now, the one thing I didn't say as far as supplies that we need is we need to go ahead and mount this on the layout. So you're going to need to go ahead and drill a hole in the bottom of it and set a nail in the bottom. So at this point in time, I go ahead and I drill my hole, and then I go ahead and set my nail. And I use a small enough bit that my nail will just kind of go in there and give a little bit of play. Now, depending on where you're going to put it on your layout, can also depict on what size nail you're going to use to hold it, because these have a little bit of weight to them. So you want to have something that's going to hang down a little bit to hold it in place. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and drill the bottoms of both of these, and I'm going to go ahead and set my nail in. And when we come back, we'll go ahead and dress them up and start building these trees. Okay, so I went ahead and I got my nail set into the bottom of each one of these. So we got that, so I have something to hang on to. You can tell at the top of this one, see how it already comes to a point. So I'm not going to have to do anything with the top of this, because I'm going to be able to slide my bows, my coconut, down over the top of it. This guy, on the other hand, you can see how it's kind of blunt at the top. What we're going to need to do is take your pocket knife or a knife, and we're going to have to whittle this down so we get a point. That way, when we go to put this on, A, it's going to be easier for you. B, if it pokes out the top, it won't be as a big blunt end. It'll be more of a pointed end, which will look more natural if it is sticking out the top. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to whittle this down. And so when we come back, we'll have the top done on this, and we'll start applying our bows over the top of it. All right, so you can see how I went ahead and whittled that down to a point. So the next step from here is that we're going to go ahead and go back to our coconut fiber and start with your bigger fibers. And we're just going to go ahead and kind of work these down through. And so just go ahead and put it on like that. Now, we aren't gluing them down or anything at this point, and the reason is if you went ahead and put spray glue on this and then try to put this coconut fiber down through, it would start sticking to it and everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and layer this up with our fibers, get the look that we want, and when we come back, then we'll go ahead and spray it with the spray glue. So first off, you want to start with your larger one. We got multiple sizes over here. So I'm going to go a little bit smaller, and we're going to go ahead and work this one down. Now, you don't want them to go right on top of each other. You want them to come up a little bit so you have a space. So when you go ahead and put your foam flock in, it has room to get in between there. So just kind of work it into a certain area like that, and grab a little bit smaller one and work that one down on top like so, and so on. So we'll do here, let's bring this one down, and if they aren't exactly round and maybe they're a little bit oblong, it's okay, because trees themselves are not exactly completely uniform. So you can kind of see where this is going. Now, when you're cutting all these, you end up with these little odds and ends off to the side. And those work great for the very top. So you just take one of these, split it down, tease it out, and get your smaller one right there. And just stick it right up on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get this one all done. When we come back, we're going to go ahead and do a little bit trimming up and get the spray glue on it. All right, so we went ahead and I got our coconut all on it. And you can see that on the edges, we've got some wild strands that are hanging out. So what we want to do at this point is just go through and kind of give it a haircut on the edge. Get rid of some of these that are just kind of hanging out there in no man's land. So we just kind of want to tidy it up just a little bit. So you'll see, like up on top right here, let's get rid of that guy, and some of the fibers up on top, and just kind of get it to look, you know, somewhat uniform. And the main reason why we're taking care of some of these loose fibers is when we get the glue on it, we want to keep some separation going on. And if there's fibers that are in there, it's going to want to stick to those other areas. So now we have this, and it's pretty much all trimmed up. I'm going to go ahead and do the other one. When we come back, then we're going to go ahead and put our first coat of spray glue on it. Okay, at this point, we got it all in there. Grab your spray glue, and we just want to go ahead and give it a light little coating. And what this is going to do is just kind of hold it into place right now. So you get that, kind of place them the way you want, one little final adjustment, and there you go. I'll do the other one. When we pick it up, we'll start applying some paint. Okay, so I went ahead and got all the spray glue on there. Now I'm going to grab my two colors, and we're going to go out and we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of painting.
Hi, it's Bob again. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use the green paint. We're going to paint these whispering trees. So with the green paint, we want to paint the uppers first. And then with the brown, we're going to paint the underside. So let's start painting some trees.
Okay, so we got our green, and we're gonna just kind of lightly coat on the upper part. And we're only trying to concentrate on the upper flange of the tree, of the boughs of the tree. So when you're all done, kind of look like that. Okay, so you can see that the underside we didn't touch. All right, just the upper. Next thing we want to do is we're going to grab our brown. You know, I can get this brown. And on the brown, we're going to turn the tree back upside down. And we are going to just go ahead and concentrate on the underside of those bows. Okay? At the same point in time, you can see on the trunk where we have the green on the trunk. Okay? Now, you're going to want to kind of come in and hit that so we can get rid of the green, that overspray on that. And plus what this will do is it seals your wood. So get it something like that. Same thing with the trunk down here. Now it's easier if you paint upside down, guys, because you can tell, see, we're still have our green up on top. So turn it up on end and just lightly mist it on. Okay? Don't need to load it, just mist it. Do a little bit of touch up here. And there we go. All right, so this one's ready to go. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the other one. We'll go back inside and we'll start our flocking process. Okay, so we're back inside. We got it all painted. You can see how the green is up on top. If we turn it upside down, you can see how the brown is on the underside of those bows. So the green, the brown. Nice thing about doing the green up on top is that when we put the foam flock on, it seems to cover a little bit better, and it just helps out. So next step is I'm going to go ahead and take some spray glue, and I'm going to go ahead and spray this, and we're going to grab the flock and start putting it in. So again, this is the flock that we made in that one video, and you know, looks pretty good. You notice that I have the aluminum foil. I went ahead and made a makeshift pan, so a little bit of origami, and you can get yourself a little tray. Nice thing about that is that as we put the flock on, it's going to be dropping all over the place, so you're going to want something to contain it so you can save that foam flock for later on, or just keep on adding on to it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this with some spray glue, and just go ahead and work the top like this all the way around. Get a nice tack coat on there like that. Put that off to the side, and then just go ahead and take your foam flock and start adding to it. And it sticks together. Just kind of break it up. Let's get some of this out, put it down here, and just start working it around. So a lot of times what I try to do is add towards the middle and work my way out. Now we're not going to be able to do this all in one shot. It's going to take a couple different coatings of it. So don't try to, you know, add it all at once. It's kind of a gradual thing as you work up to it. So take your flock, put it in there, and just work your way around. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we come back. I'll show you what it looks like. and we'll go ahead and put another coat of spray glue on it. Okay, so we got our first go round with the foam flock on it. And you can see that it's not covered completely, that we still have a lot of bare that's there. So at this point in time, I'm gonna go ahead and coat it again, keep on doing this back and forth until I get the look that I'm going after. So what we're gonna do is I'll just keep on doing this and we'll pick it up when it's all complete. Okay, so I went ahead and I got all my foam flock on there. You can see how that all looks. So it's all nice and filled in. Next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take some coarse turf, the dark green. So I'm gonna take my trusty spray glue and we're just gonna give it a little once over here. Like so. Pull that out. I have a little bit of coarse flock right here. And just go ahead and sprinkle it on there. And that'll just kind of give it a little bit more texture. Helps fill in some of those extra areas. And makes it look a little bit more like a true evergreen. So, go ahead and do this. And come back, we'll be ready for a little bit of the light green. All right, so we got them all finished up. Now what I do is I take a little bit of hairspray and just go ahead and hit it just lightly. And what this will do is just kind of that final little lock-in of anything that's left. That might be just kind of hanging by a thread. Well, that's some good assurance that it's going to stay there. So I'll go ahead and do this one, do that one. We come back, we'll have them on the layout. Okay, we got our dark green on. I went ahead and did another coat of spray glue on it. And now we're going to use the light green. Now the light green, we're just going to want to just sparingly use it, okay? We don't want to put a whole bunch on it. This is just kind of giving a little bit of contrast here and there and just kind of breaks it up. Now, you can use this step or you could just go ahead and skip it. It's all pretty much preference. On this guy, I'm just going to go ahead and do this step. So, you can see how just a little bit here and there. Just keep on doing this. Do it just a little bit. And I'm going to keep on doing that until I get quite the look that I want. When we come back, it'll be all ready to go.
Hi, it's Bob again. And we got our whispering trees finally put on our layout. So let's look down and see how it all looks. So if you see, you can tell we used our driftwood trunks. And it just makes it look more natural. Really makes a nice, whispering, mysterious tree. So, I'm so happy that we were able to model today. And if you like it, please share it with others. And if you like Boone's Slot Car Garage, please subscribe. So, until next time, we will figure it out when it happens. We'll go with the wind. Kind of a Bob Ross thing. So, thank you, God bless, and good night.